Welcome back to another 100 Days of Making Cyberpunks. It's my mutation of the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge, where instead of trying to put in a half hour a day on my comics, I'm trying to complete 2 pages a week. This week I fell short again. Not too bad though, because I did do a new cover, which puts me ahead on the covers. I didn't letter 2 pages, so I'm really behind on the lettering. I'm going to have to make a push for it this week to catch up. Though I did hit a big milestone. I have the first floppy issues worth of comic done, art-wise, and I'm catching up on the lettering. So as soon as I do the lettering for 6 pages, then I will have a full comic's worth of comic. So yeah, 24 pages. And then on the actual drawing stage, I'm a lot further, but I've got the coloring. Anyways, so to pad the time, I thought last time I talked a little bit about depicting race in comics, and this time I thought I would do something else that's similar, and I've been seeing it pop up a lot more and more about how political comics should be, and I mean, it's understandable because, politics is taking over so much of our lives, and my argument is that it should, because, people should care about their government that they're responsible for more than they care about, football. You know, people should know people should know as much about their senators as they know about their sports teams. So there was a lot of memes going around about how comics have always been political, and I'm not sure exactly what sparked that. I'm sure that there was some kind of incident, but somehow that escaped my radar. Recently, Rob on Comics Explained said that he didn't think that all comics should be political. He likes the new Captain America, and, he thinks that should work. Kind of my take on this is that whenever you create a work of art, you're trying to, you're exploring certain themes, whether you mean to or not, because that's how you make a story resonate with people. My definition of politics is the discussion of what's fair. And so it's hard to look at life and not have some kind of political leaning. When I was in English literature, my teacher said that Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a very political story in South America. It's seen as a metaphor for American imperialism, because you have this little blue-eyed girl, blonde, representing America, and the bears represent the brown people in South America. So as long as you're exploring any kind of themes and want your stories to be relatable, they can be construed as political. Now, I purposely go for it. I'm a very political person. I ran for office a couple times, and I've been very active in politics, or at least more, depending on who you ask, because I have some very active friends who live and breathe politics, who don't think I'm active enough, and they're right. Anyways, now in my current comic, Cyberpunks, it's political in that the story is about what happens when there's an event that makes it so about half the people with disabilities are suddenly enhanced. Because not only were their disabilities repaired with cybernetics, but now they're more capable than the average person. And this is political in itself to some degree, if you consider the Olympics political, because there was an Olympian who tried to get in on China for track, and the Chinese government was arguing that his prosthetic legs gave him an advantage over people with regular legs. See, even that, my phrasing, I was kind of hesitant because you don't want to make things normative, but I won't go into all that. But anyways, the idea in itself is political there, but then I'm going to step it up a little bit, and I'm bringing in, that they get interned while the government figures out what the hell's going on. So, where have we heard that recently? I don't avoid it. Even my kids' book that I made, A Night on Ghost Island, it's kind of political in that the main kid is an atheist, and so it's not quite political, but it's another topical issue that's very, kind of a hot button issue, or it's kind of a hot button subject matter. On that one, it's paramount to the plot that the character is an atheist, and they discuss it because the idea of it is that when the other kids find out that they're an atheist, they dared to spend the night on a haunted island. And if you listened really carefully to how I described that, you might realize that there's another slight subversive political angle to the book. And let's say you take any character that's patriotic automatically becomes political to other parts of the world, because you have a superhero that's defending a government whose foreign policy is very questionable, to say the least. We're fighting in 7 different countries. Anyways, anything you create is going to be political because we all exist in a cultural context. What the book says now to people might be something totally different in 50 years when there's a different cultural context, or even 10 years, or maybe less, because the way the culture shifts with the internet. So the best thing you can do is have a strong point of view and an informed opinion, so you can make it as clear on what you're trying to say and what you're not trying to say as possible. Because as we discussed in the last video, sometimes you imply things that you didn't mean to imply, but in the sum of all media, it's going to be interpreted a certain way. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.